powerful. Yeah. He's so vicious. Like his one-punch power at 135 is like nobody else's in the division. Like the way he starches people is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets so much torque and power into his punches, and he's so fast that he covers ground and his uppercuts, they're just devastating.
Yeah, for sure. I think I can stop him. I'm much quicker than him. He's much stronger, much bigger, but we just gotta wait and see until we get in there and touch the waters.
I'm a giant Gervonta fan. I
Yeah.
think that guy's so unusual.
Yeah.
His style so unusual, and his patience.
The Leo Santa Cruz fight was really something for me because Leo Santa Cruz is a technician, Mexican style, and the fight was very close before Tank stopped him. But he has that power that can end it.
He finds these openings and he sees them, but he doesn't go after them right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient. Like when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he probably has the lowest punch count in the early rounds. But he also knows he's got that nuclear option that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out. He's got massive confidence in that.
Joe Rogan's reaction said it all. The moment Gervonta "Tank" Davis stepped into the media room ahead of his exhibition bout with Jake Paul, the atmosphere shifted. Fans were expecting the usual compact, explosive frame Tank is known for, but this version of him looked different. Bigger, denser. Like every muscle had been sculpted with one purpose: destruction. Rogan, a man who has seen elite athletes from every combat sport up close, couldn't hide his surprise. It wasn't just an acknowledgement. It was that rare moment when even a veteran analyst realizes someone has taken their preparation to another level. In the face-off that followed, Tank didn't flex or play into the usual intimidation game. Instead, he stayed calm, almost too calm. He stood with a relaxed posture, shoulders slightly turned, arms subtly positioned in front of his torso like he was hiding something rather than showing off. It wasn't insecurity, it felt calculated, as if he knew the cameras were hunting for a transformation shot and he wasn't about to give them a full look just yet. Still, even with that controlled stance, the added size was impossible to miss. The silence between both camps said more than trash talk ever could. Joe Rogan weighed in on the moment, drawing a clear line between real competition and entertainment strategy. In his words, Jake Paul's approach isn't always about legacy or merit, it's about momentum and media traction. These kinds of matchups, Rogan suggested, are engineered to spark curiosity from casual fans, to get people talking, betting, arguing online, even if the fight itself doesn't align with traditional boxing logic. Paul isn't just fighting, he's marketing, and every stare down, every glove-sized debate is part of that bigger promotional machine.
That was Jake Paul promoting it. You know, it's just doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
if I bet on it,
watching
it
it
bothers
is
the fuck out
hard.
of me.
Watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia, so it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in.
Thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way they can.
Put the size situation into perspective. Tank Davis is a natural lightweight, a champion who normally steps into the ring at around 135 pounds. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has been operating in a completely different weight universe, competing closer to the cruiserweight range, where fighters walk in heavy and strong. That's why the announcement of a 195-pound catchweight caught so many fans off guard. It wasn't officially settled right away either. There was a noticeable amount of negotiation in public, speculation before that number finally became locked in. This isn't just a fight, it's a massive physical leap for Davis, and that alone has people questioning whether this is a test of skill or a test of limits.
You were yelling so much about him fight somebody your size. His next opponent is by far the most credentialed guy ever fought actively in his prime. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. He fights at 135 pounds.
Due to the mismatch, the rules governing this exhibition fight are non-standard. For example, both fighters will use 12-ounce gloves, which are heavier than what Davis normally uses when fighting in his class.
The Jake Paul versus Tank fight is getting really weird. Gervonta looks scared for his life because the rules are out. They're crazy. Oh, so everyone thought that the fight was at 190. Instead it's at 195, and this weight difference is scaring the life out of little Tank.
Over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The next dispute comes with the gloves. Little Tank is used to fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Baby glove. This fight will be in 12. Hands might be too small. Oh, so Tank just fought in a 12 3-minute round fight against Roach. Yes, and now he's fighting in 10 3-minute rounds, which isn't too bad. Well done, Jake. Exhibition though, can he win? Yes, he can actually win. It will be overlooked by 3 sanctioned judges. So he can actually still win and knock him out. But here's the trick. It's body punches only. And there's a reason. That's because Tank said, look, this is a bit unfair. I don't want to punch up. I want to punch at my head height. Where does it fall? At Jake Paul's belly. Oof. So apparently we've heard there's no knockdown rules, but aside from that, it's a pretty well-rounded fight. Oh yeah, and there's some drug testing involved. But Jake Paul for the win.
Because of the huge size gap between them, this exhibition bout won't follow the usual rules that you'd see in traditional championship boxing. One major change is the glove size. Both fighters agreed to wear 12-ounce gloves, which are noticeably heavier than what Tank Davis is accustomed to in his own division. For a lightweight like Davis, this is a significant adjustment. He's used to fighting with lighter gloves designed for speed and snap, while heavier gloves reduce impact slightly and slow down punching rhythm. Jake, being the naturally bigger man, is far more familiar with this territory, making the glove choice another subtle advantage in his favor.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights in 10s. Tank fighting 8s, so he losing 4 ounces. So my thing is, I said, they said, put Tank in 8s, put him in 10s. That makes the fight more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there because I understand. And I brought that question up to one of his handlers. They was, no, we don't want to do no mixed match. It's supposed to be an expedition.
Why's it matter?
What, now y'all want the wins and the loss. You know what I'm saying? All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Tank don't really care, So when I brought this up, he said, dang, facts. You know what I'm saying? So again, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we got to fight.
Tank's coach, Calvin Ford, didn't seem fully comfortable with the glove adjustment either. He pointed out that while heavier gloves can slightly soften the impact, they also alter the rhythm of offense and defense. According to him, it's not just about reducing damage. The weight affects timing, punch feedback, and even how a fighter positions their guard. In his eyes, these small tweaks can completely shift the flow of a fight, especially for someone moving up multiple weight classes.
Is the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff, particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping, and it made me think. And I'm gonna ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm gonna ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, AKA Thunder Lips. He was thunder lips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me. It's Rocky.
Eddie Atlas gave his take on the face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, and he didn't hold back. He pointed out just how drastic the size gap looked on stage, joking that Tank would practically need a ladder just to reach Jake's chin. Atlas acknowledged that boxing has always been about skill, timing, and style matchups, but in this particular matchup, the physical difference is on another level. In his eyes, there's a point where size stops being just a factor and becomes the story.
Jake Paul, I think when he weighed in for Mike Tyson, was 227 pounds. That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. It's insane. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
He drew a comparison to when Canelo Alvarez moved up in weight to face Terrence Crawford, but made it clear that Crawford, even lighter, still had the frame to carry that weight. Tank Davis, on the other hand, is naturally much smaller, making it difficult for him to even physically reach Jake Paul with effectiveness, which is why many feel this matchup looks like a mismatch before it even begins. This isn't just sparking debate among fans, media personalities, and analysts are raising serious questions about how fair or even responsible this event is. The controversy goes beyond Davis himself. Critics are asking whether boxing is crossing a line by greenlighting exhibitions with such drastic physical disparities, wondering if it sets a risky precedent for future crossover or entertainment-style fights. Joe Rogan is among those calling attention to just how unusual and potentially unsafe this scenario is for a sport that still markets itself on competition and skill, not spectacle alone.
One of the most interesting fighters to watch because he's so different. His style is so different. You know, he's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then he starts to figure holes out, and the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, and man, he be cracking them dudes. Hey, he be putting them to sleep.
Just cracking people.
Yeah.
And he has so much confidence in his power. So much confidence in his power.
You know, he just, in his mind, he know it's a matter of time before I catch you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Tank, you know, these fighters. You got to be aware 15 rounds. I know you're going 12, but you got to think you're going 3 more because one slip, one mistake, and it's over.
Yeah.
You know, so hats off to Tank. You know, he's a great, talented fighter. But again, he haven't faced the top elite fighters in his division.
Right.
You know, so we want to see Tank against, you know, somebody his size, you know, at the elite level.
Yeah.
And I believe he'll do good because, you know, he got the skills, the power, he got the ring IQ to do good, but we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, he's also wild. He's a wild fella, so he's fun to watch. You know, he's just a crazy dude, you know?
Yeah. Coming from Baltimore, man, I think that's just his upbringing as well.
Yes, for sure. He's just so unique in his approach. Like, you know, he doesn't fight like anybody.
Dana White has also weighed in, and as usual, he didn't hold back. He's been openly critical of the matchup, accusing Jake Paul of handpicking opponents who are either past their prime or physically undersized. White acknowledged that Tank Davis hits harder than even Floyd Mayweather pound for pound, but emphasized that none of that matters if you're giving up that much size, reach, and weight. According to Dana, Jake could simply use his frame to smother and lean on Davis, nullifying Tank's explosiveness. He's been direct about it, saying fighters like Jake need to fight guys your own size instead of drawing headlines by pursuing smaller, more marketable names.
Like that Ryan Garcia one, where Gervonta Davis caught him with that left hook to the body. People were saying that he quit.
No.
He never been hit in the liver. Oscar De La Hoya quit the same way with Bernard Hopkins.
With the same thing.
Same body shot.
Same
left
body shot. And he tried to come, and he tried to take a step out that corner and not the front of his foot even moved. He just went down. He's like, man, this is it.
And if you get kicked to the body.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. A kick to the body is so goddamn devastating, especially a spinning back kick. You could literally pick someone up in the air. It's like they got hit by a car.
Any kick
Yeah.
It's really something to see a kid who has nothing, born into extreme poverty, become a world champion. Like Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
It's an inspiring story.
It is, and it's great for everyone because it gives you fuel. Like for a person who's coming up in life, even if you're not a fighter, you see what someone's gone through and you see the success that that hard work has created.
Right.
And it can be a roadmap for your...
Rogan has consistently shown admiration for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, not just for his knockout power, but for the way he's climbed through the sport. After Tank stopped Rolando Romero, Rogan highlighted that Davis isn't just winning fights. He's creating viral moments that turn fighters into global stars. When discussing the Ryan Garcia bout, Rogan doubled down on that respect. He described Davis as one of the most unsettling fighters to stand across from, noting that even when Tank appears calm and patient, there's a constant sense of danger. Rogan pointed out that Davis doesn't need to rush. He just waits for the moment, and when he unleashes, the fight can change instantly.
Band for band on what you making. Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing, for sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Kevin Gates? Oh my goodness. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're gonna come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is gonna knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't.
There are increasing signs that Gervonta Davis may be preparing to walk away from the sport after his exhibition bout with Jake Paul, and many believe the decision revolves around long-term financial security. Davis has openly voiced his frustration with the current state of boxing, even stating bluntly that the sport feels dead to him and that loyalty is almost non-existent in the business. His longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, confirmed that the Jake Paul fight wasn't chosen for competition or legacy, but because it offered the biggest payday compared to any rematch on the table. Beyond the financial aspect, Davis appears mentally drained from the constant grind, the training camps, the pressure, the politics behind the scenes. In recent remarks, he hinted that this may be his final time under the spotlight. He expressed a desire to step away from public life altogether, prioritizing his family and personal peace over the chaos that comes with being an active star in combat sports.
Do you think that Jake Paul could win a legitimate boxing title?
No, no, because he's so far behind someone of his equal age who's been doing it for a very long time. He started very late. That's why I applaud exactly what he's doing. I think he should be doing exactly what he's doing. If he fought a legitimate, top 10 cruiserweight, I will shut the if he's able to fight an actual contender of the top 10. That would be astonishing if he can get to that point. If he beat anybody in the top 10, that would be, to me, the greatest thing he's ever accomplished.
Yeah, because historically he's fought old men.
I think he's done it the right way, because there's a possibility where a 50-year-old Anderson Silva might be able to beat him. Who thought he was going to beat Tyson? I really thought, oh, Tyson's just going to go to the body and just punish his body, because I thought that that's what would win him thing, but he did not do that. I think it makes for a good matchup. He's made for great spectacle.
In the midst of the ongoing discussion, actor and martial artist Michael Jai White also shared his perspective. He made it clear that, regardless of how well Jake Paul performs or how much attention he generates, he should not be viewed as a legitimate boxing champion. White drew a firm line between sanctioned championship Bouts recognized by official governing bodies and the kind of exhibition or crossover events Paul has been involved in. His remarks echo a wider sentiment within the boxing community that while these events generate buzz and entertainment value, they do not represent the standards or prestige associated with true championship-level competition. For many professionals and longtime fans, this fight sits more in the realm of spectacle than sport, further fueling questions about its legitimacy.
Do we think the fight is ridiculous between you and Jake Paul? Yes. Are we going to watch it? Yeah. Do we like it? Maybe. Maybe. And let me tell you why it's maybe, why it's not no, why it's not yes. It's maybe because many of us, we just don't believe it. We just don't believe the fight is real. We know it's an exhibition, but we just don't believe that you two are going to try to take each other's heads off. Other than that, it's kind of interesting. You have a 5'5" lightweight versus a heavyweight Jake Paul, who's really not a boxer with an amateur background and all that shit, but he's been knocking people out. It's kind of interesting if we know y'all were trying to knock each other's head off.
Tater Showbiz also pointed out that regardless of how unorthodox the matchup may seem, sheer public intrigue will likely drive huge viewership numbers. At the same time, Tank's recent hints about stepping away from the sport have sparked uncertainty among fans, leaving many questioning whether the event will even go ahead as planned. Adding to the tension, Tank and Shakur Stevenson have been trading shots online, especially on platforms like X, each casting doubt on the other's skills and intentions. This back and forth has only fueled the drama, blending competitive anticipation with the entertainment-driven hype that now surrounds modern boxing storylines.